Hello, what is going on, guys? I am Numbnexus, bringing you here another video talking about the top 5 best mons that I personally think within the Sun and Moon meta right now. Mainly the top 5 brand new mons that I think are the best in terms of competitive. Just 5. I wanted to do 10, but I want to kind of do like an anniversary, because when X and Y first came out, it's actually my most viewed video, which is top 5 best Pokemon from the Kalos region competitively, and it kind of broke and dumpster because I figured why not do it again, but for the next eventual meta, which is now the Sun and Moon meta. So we're gonna sit down, discuss, and kind of compromise the 5 best mons that I think that came out from Pokemon Sun and Moon competitively. If you're enjoying, by all means, let me know by liking the video. Liking the video is the easiest way to show me that you enjoyed. Leave your feedback down in the comments down below, and if you disagree, I'd love to hear what you think are the 5 best competitive mons within this game. But with that, we're gonna get straight right in it. We're gonna get straight right in it. Number 5 slot is gonna actually have to be Toxapex. I really think Toxapex is really good. Some people think it's broken. I think they need to calm down. It's very beatable, so it's not broken. People usually like to call things broken when they really just mean that as in they don't know how to deal with it, but for some reason they decide on calling it broken. If you don't know how to deal with it, that doesn't mean it's broken. That means you don't know how to deal with it. It's actually very simple to deal with this. A bulky Psychic type, a strong Psychic type can actually shred this thing, not to mention as well as Garchomp, Mamoswine, Mega Metagross, a lot of Pokemon actually shred this thing. Hell, Latios actually hard checks and counters because there is not much that Toxapex can do to Latios. So it definitely can be managed there. There's a lot of things that I think can be defeated by, even like the Tapus as well. Tapu Koko, Xurkitree, strong electric types as well. A lot of things defeat this Pokemon. But here's why it's so good. Alright, this Pokemon is incredibly dumbfoundedly broken. Wait, broken? Wait, I just signed hypocritical as hell. I meant to say bulky. This Pokemon can take a lot of hits from a lot of Pokemon. Now, sure, its HP is actually dog shit, but when you have sky-high defense stats, it doesn't matter. Like, I feel like a lot of Pokemon can either run off that kind of shittiest HP. Well, the fortunate part is it does max out beyond 300. It's like 304 is where it peaks at, but its defenses are crazy high. With a beneficial nature in a defense stat, it can hit 443. Now, with a beneficial nature in a special defensive stat, it actually hits 421. So this thing is very bulky. Right, and the fact that it actually can potentially live a +2 Jolly EQ from Chomp. This is non-life word invested, by the way, because most Chomps are like Lumberry right now. So the fact that it can live a +2 Jolly EQ, it has a chance to live. All right, that does 87 to 104%. So it has a chance to actually live. That is outstanding. Now, this thing does not dish out damage whatsoever in the slightest, but the fact that it can actually wear things down, and it gets recover as well. So it has reliable recovery, it gets hazards like toxic spikes, and it has an ability that can allow it to crit everything like across the field with any move once they're poisoned is ridiculous. And the fact that it can just recover off most of this as well, and if you don't want to run the Merciless ability, which allows it to crit anything that's poisoned, you can simply run Regenerator. It's this version's Among Us, you want to say, but it's kind of like a better Tentacruel. Look at it that way, right? It's a much better Tentacruel is how I can look at it. It's very bulky, strong, not so much. It's actually dog shit slow as well, but once you chip this thing down and you wither it down with like Will-O-Wisp or something like that, you are really chilling. I know Celesteela can handle the thing pretty well as well, because if you just run Earthquake on Celesteela, you should be chilling, but otherwise, you're definitely struggling. You want to be able to beat it in ways that actually can help. Like I said, Garchomp, Latios, Mamoswine, Mega Metagross, Tapu Koko can shred the thing as well, same as Xurkitree. All these mons can shred it. You just need to find out the best and most viable way to do that. And don't just sit there and call it broken, because it's far from. It's really bulky, it's good within the meta, but it's far from broken. It is actually, fun fact, the most used Pokemon right now, pre-Pokebank on Showdown right now. They did a test within it, and it is the most used Pokemon right now on Showdown. Fun fact, if you didn't know that, Now you know. Moving on now though to the number 4 slot is gonna have to be Tapu Bulu. Tapu Bulu is a monster. Like, there is no switch-ins to it. I've been streaming for the past 3 days straight, laddering on Showdown, and I hit like 1500 like it's absolutely nothing just because of a team with Bandit Bulu. Bandit Bulu is so powerful, he legitimately does not care about resistances. Like, I think one of the best answers to Bandit Bulu literally is Celesteela. Celesteela swallows Bandit Woodhammer, but even still, it does an immaculate amount of damage. I think it does like 20%. It still does a lot of damage. Probably 12 if anything. It still does a lot of damage. I'll be putting up most of the calcs in the description, but a Bandit Woodhammer to max HP and max defense, which I think they've been popping up just because of the fact of literally Bandit Bulu, actually does about 22 to 25%. So the fact that it still does that much to Pokemon with 97 HP and 103 in defense stats is ridiculous. It resists it in every way and it does that much damage. It's insane. This Pokemon hits dumb, stupid, hard. Like, if you don't have a resistance, even with the resistance, like if you're just a Pokemon that resists it, that doesn't take the hit too well, it's 2 KOing almost everything. I just laugh at Pokemon that try to switch in on top Bandit Tapu Bulu. Like, it legitimately does not matter because the fact that it gets 2-hit KO'd by Woodhammer is ridiculous. Not to even mention the fact as well that his ability Grassy Terrain not only helps him take Earthquakes better, but helps everybody else on your team take Earthquakes better. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've laughed at Earthquakes from Mega Metagross and Garchomp with my Alolan Marowak in the Grassy Terrain and literally cleaning up those two Pokemon with Alolan Marowak because he eats them so much better than he would without Grassy Terrain. Even Pokemon like Mega Metagross can take an Earthquake a lot better, incredibly well from Chomp in the Grassy Terrain. That's why Swordsdance Chomp is running around as well. That way that he could just say fuck it to the Grassy Terrain. But Grassy Terrain is such a good ability because it not only helps you, your Tapu Bulu, it helps everybody else. But it does kind of cripple you as well because even you yourself cannot use Earthquake because it will diminish the power of Earthquake that you are using yourself. So take that into consideration. Like, the Bulus have really introduced all these terrains since they auto set them up that it's made a lot of people think. So definitely make sure to note, jot down, and try to remember that because it actually can be a game changer if you forget. Trust me. There's one that's gonna be on this list that I haven't said yet that I've forgotten multiple times that has been a game changer. But Tapu Bulu is really good. That grass fairy typing, sure, it does suck to like poison and fire and flying as well as steel. But you have to think about it. Fire typing isn't too common, number 1. Number 2, the scariest poison type you probably see in pre-Pokebank is like Salazzle. For some reason, no one's using Gengar, and they're really upset now because Chomp kind of bodies Gengar now since he doesn't have Levitate. So people are upset with Gengar, so he's not really running around too much. But yeah, Salazzle is like a very crazy fast poison type Pokemon. And if you actually don't prepare for Salazzle and you run a team with a lot of Bulus or a lot of Tapus, you're gonna get fucked up by it. Like, you actually will. It doesn't have too much power, but the fact that it's a poison type is gonna 2-hit KO you. So definitely watch out for things like that, because that's one thing that actually can shred a Tapu Bulu very easy. Otherwise, he's a lot of resistances, fighting, dark. He's not neutral to bug as well. A lot of resistances that he actually has that makes him so much more bulkier, especially with the Grassy Terrain. And he hits like a truck. He has 130 attack. Dude, he's decently kind of fast. 75 is not the world's greatest, but also not the world's worst. And then his defense stats of 115 defense and 95 special defense. Oh yeah, he's very bulky with 70 HP. 70's but the stats alone can kind of help that out. He's very bulky. You know, definitely watch out for these. If they're banded, you're legitimately screwed. You have to find ways to stop it. Celesteela being right now the best answer on stopping a Bandit Bulu. Number 3 now on the list is going to be Tapu Lele. Now, Tapu Lele, a lot of people actually want this Pokemon banned. They think it's so powerful that they should ban it. Me, on the other hand, I don't know how I feel about it. It's really good, but ban-worthy? Here's the crazy thing. I could see it being suspect tested. I would not be surprised if I actually see this Pokemon being suspect tested. Because everyone's all saying that when Genesect comes into meta, when Pokebank comes out, Genesect is bodying these Pokemon in every way. And while sure that may be true, it will just start running Hidden Power Fire, number one. And number two, Genesect's gonna get banned. So VGC wise, I know this is also, I think he's the most used Tapu. Or I should say she, whatever. Tapu Lele is one of the most used Tapus in the doubles format, the canon VGC format, I should say. It's really, really powerful. She's really slept on, and I don't understand why. Like, a lot of people that aren't playing the meta, they laugh if you tell them that Tapu Lele is easily one of the best of the Tapus. I'm sitting there like, are you serious, dude? Like, what? Tapu Lele is incredible. I think personally, and don't get angry at me, I think Tapu Lele is the best out of all the Tapus. I personally think it's the best Tapu out of all of them. Tapu Fini's more utility. Tapu Koko's, well, he's more initiative-wise, systems as well, with a little bit of powers. Very fast, I should say. Speedy kind of initiative mon. Tapu Bulu is the wall breaker, and Tapu Lele is the wall breaker. Those two are the wall breakers right there. On the physical side and the special side, two opposites. I love them both. They're easily my two favorite Tapus right there. But Tapu Lele is pretty crazy hard, and the fact that makes this Tapu stand out from the rest and why I think it's the best out of all of them is the fact that its move pool is pretty decently wide. Like, it learns a lot of moves you normally wouldn't think. It gets Energy Ball, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball. It gets a lot of moves that you normally wouldn't expect this Pokemon to get. Aromatherapy as well if you want to run some type of utility mon. It has set up as well with Calm Mind. Learns Focus Blast as well. Dual Screens, Nature's Madness, all of them learn. It learns a lot, honestly. It has a decently wide move pool. I just say crazy wide move pool, but it definitely has a decently wide move pool for this Pokemon to more than likely easily be viable. This Pokemon is just really, really strong right now in the meta. It is really strong, both in singles format the Smogon way and in doubles. This Pokemon is used very efficiently in both formats, and it is very, very powerful. People are definitely taking advantage as well from its ability. That's what also makes it stand out as well. The fact that you can't hit this Pokemon with a priority is ridiculous, because you can easily run choice specs, and if you outspeed a certain mon but they body you with priority, like right now Ash Greninjas are always trying to go for Water Shuriken to, you know, Battle Bond evolve. No, this Pokemon laughs at it. You can even laugh at Scizor. If you run specs Hidden Power Fire, this is coming from my own personal experience, Scizor can't do shit to you. You easily outspeed him. He can't Bullet Punch priority you, and you have a ×4 move that you can shred him with. So, Jesus Christ, this Pokemon's really good. It literally kills Talonflame. Like, this Pokemon alone literally kills Talonflame because he can't go for the Gale Wings Brave Bird. You can't Quick Attack, you can't Extreme Speed, can't Mach Punch, can't Vacuum Wave. You know, you can't do any of that. No Water Shuriken, nothing. So, if you run this Pokemon Scarfed, which is one of the most common sets right now, it outspeeds Pheromosa. First off, because Pheromosa peaks at 441 max speed, so it outspeeds Pheromosa with the swiftness and ease right there. A lot of people try, I guess, to not remember that, because Scarf Tapu Lele peaks out at 475 with Scarf, versus Pheromosa speed beneficial nature actually peaks out at 441. And it can easily outspeed that and simply just go for Moonblast or Psychic and easily shred it because it's a glass cannon. You know, the fact that you can't use any priority on Tapu Lele is huge. That means it can literally win a lot of 1v1 matches purely based off its ability alone. And not even that. The fact that this Pokemon can hit really hard, having a base 130 special attack, 95 speed, so it's already one of the fastest Tapus. Tapu Bulu's got 75, and Tapu Fini has, don't tell me this, Tapu Fini has, what's she got? Tapu Fini has 85. So they go 75, 85, 95, and then Tapu Koko just doesn't give a shit and he's 130. So the fact that it's the second fastest Tapu that can hit that hard and you can't use any priority on it, as well as a decently wide move pool coverage that can handle most of the things that take it out 1v1, is ridiculous. This Pokemon is really good. You know, I saw its design, I thought it was cute, but it's really powerful. And I feel like it's really underestimated right now in terms of people underestimating the Pokemon itself. It's really strong, and you would actually be surprised how many people underestimate it. I've sat on the ladder for 2 days straight, bodying niggas because they underestimate its power. But it's really strong is what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to go into a repetitive circle. It's easily really strong. Number 2 on the list is going to be Celesteela. I think Celesteela is one of the best Ultra Beasts. I actually made a video discussion about this. Definitely go watch that. It'll be at the end of this video with a little end card. But I made a video about it discussing all the Ultra Beasts and why they aren't as crazy as some people think that they are. And they definitely are not. They have very huge weaknesses that are overshadowed by the fact that they're Ultra Beasts. But Celesteela is very, very good. You can run this Pokemon in so many ways. It has a crazy wide move pool. Like, this thing learns so many moves. You know, so many moves that this thing learns. So its move pool is already pretty wide. Bunch of grass moves, steel, ground, flying, you know. It gets the new move Brutal Swing as well, the new move Smart Strike, the move that Lily never misses, you know? It's very bulky. Like, this Pokemon is so good. The only thing that lacks with this Pokemon, 2 things. 1, its lack of recovery. The best recovery that it has is literally Leech Seed. If it could learn Roost, this Pokemon would be so crazy, it would be ridiculous. It can literally 1v1 beat so many mobs within this meta. It already does alone, but the fact that if it could learn Roost, could make this Pokemon so much more of a dominating threat than it already is. So that's one weakness. The second one is the speed. It's not too fast. You can easily outspeed it with a very strong Pokemon and shred this bitch. Alolan Marowak, unfortunately, I think if you run actually max speed on Alolan Marowak, I don't know if he outspeeds it or not. We're gonna find out right now. He's got like 45 speed. This thing's got like 61. If you were to run a beneficial nature, what is it? Alolan Marowak, yeah, you definitely outspeed it. You don't even need to run a beneficial nature. Max speed is 189 with Adamant Alolan Marowak, and this thing with no speed investment is 158. So you do outspeed it. So just put speed investments, I guess, to outspeed Celesteelas. I know a lot of offensive Marowaks are definitely running some speed investment to outspeed Celesteelas. That way they can knock them out with Flare Blitz. But this Pokemon is so good. First off, the ability Beast Boost is nothing new to all of us. And if you haven't played the meta, well, let me enlighten you and say that Beast Boost essentially is Moxie. You know, they get a stat boost in their highest stat anytime they kill something. And Celesteela can actually gain defense boosts depending on if you are an especially defensive one or physically defensive one. It depends on which one you're running. Hell, honestly, anything. You know, physically offensive, specially offensive, it can get a boost in attack, defense, special attack, and special defense easily. Speed, I don't know about that, but it can easily gain all of that. It learns a Totemize as well if you really want this thing to get a higher speed stat. So there's that. So it gets set up. It has a decently wide move pool. The fact that this steel type learns flamethrowers, it can shred its own typing, is quite huge. A lot of people say Heatran will fuck this shit up when Heatran's out in the Pokebank meta. Now, while that's true, it does learn Earthquake. It doesn't commonly run Earthquake right now. Sometimes a little uncommon it does. But I feel like when Heatran comes out, Earthquake will definitely be more prevalent. Not to mention as well, this Pokemon is so bulky, it takes hits for days, for lives. The fact that Steel Flying is such a good defensive typing right there, and those two typings work so well together, is ridiculous. Every weakness Flying has, it is made neutral. Flying is weak to Rock, Electric, Ice, I think that's it if I'm not mistaken, and with the Steel typing being resistant to all of those typings, couple them together, it becomes neutral. And this thing's crazy high defense stats and its crazy high HP of 97, yes, that's crazy high because it maxes out to like almost 400. It kills my OCD because it maxes out at 398. Why? You should have done like 99 HP, like 100 or some shit. I don't know. Essentially, the Pokemon is very bulky. It has a decently wide move pool. It can defeat a lot of Pokemons. Garchomps are running SD Fire Fang. I know some people are running SD Fire Fang with Inferno Overdrive with the Z move to be able to shred Celesteelas, and even then it still lives. This Pokemon is nuts. It lives so many moves from Pokemon that are like +2 Fire Fang it laughs at. What is it? It takes a flamethrower from Salazzle pretty good as well, but that's Salazzle's fault not having enough power. I could take Thunderbolts from Tapu Lele as well as Tapu Koko as well. That shit doesn't one-shot it. Essentially, one-shot in this Pokemon is a dream. You have to really set yourself up to one-shot this Pokemon, you know? You have to bring it even to a range to one-shot it. From full, you really can't name a lot of things that can one-shot it from full. I can't even think of anything that one-shots it from full. But this Pokemon is really good is the point. It stops so many things. It's such a good check. It's such a good counter to so many Pokemon in the meta right now. So many. And the fact that fire typing is already kind of irrelevant, you don't see much of fire typings. Alolan Marowak is the most used fire typing right now, as well as Salazzle. Believe it or not, Salazzle's running around because it's a Tapu Slayer. It's not the world's most common typing. It's just not. So Z moves low-key kind of save because now you can run fire moves on your mons that aren't fire types and definitely get that boost. But the number one mon now, we've gone over all of this, and if you're thinking who the number one mon is now, and I just talked about all these very powerful mons, it's easily gonna have to be Pheromosa. Now, I think a lot of people expected Pheromosa to be the best mon. I personally think Pheromosa is the best mon that has come out of this entire game competitively. I do. I think it's the best mon. This thing, you don't even need to have this discussion. We don't need to have this discussion. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. For the video's length, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. It learns Quiver Dance. Its move pool, pretty wide. The fact that it learns also as well, Recovery, you can run sub 3 attacks. It literally removes entry hazards as well. It's a bug fighting, it has beast boost, it gets all these powerful bug stabs, as well as bug getting a pretty big buff this generation, and fighting typing already being such a strong offensive typing, and the stats, it's the stats, bro. It has 137 in both attack stats and 151 in speed stat. The fact that this thing learns Quiver Dance with these stats is astounding. It is absolutely astounding, dude. It astounds me. It legitimately astounds me. The one thing that also sucks as well is that this Pokemon doesn't learn Aura Sphere. Like it learns Focus Blast for one of its best, especially offensive fighting moves. So that's one thing that sucks because you literally could run Quiver 3 attacks, go like Ice Beam, Bug Buzz, and Focus Blast. But alas, a lot of people run Bug Buzz, Ice Beam, and High Jump Kick because Focus Blast sucks. You landing it is the sucky part about it. Like personally for me, I don't land that move whatsoever at all. But the fact that this Pokemon is so powerful, it's so powerful. It is such a strong wall breaker too, is ridiculous. It learns setup already. It's so powerful. Its move pool is pretty decently wide, and it has beast boost, so it can gain a stat boost in anything. That's why I recommend running Adamant. If you run Adamant, your attack peaks, your attack peaks at 376 and your speed peaks at 401. If you're running Adamant this way, you already have a crazy high speed stat and you get the beast boost, so you're essentially getting a speed boost after every kill that you can go for the raw power. You know, this thing is very powerful. It's so good mixed too. It's such a good wall breaker. Outspeeding this thing is ridiculous. Like, people need to run like Scarf Tapu Lele's to outspeed it. Priority is almost always needed on your team because this thing gets fucked over by priority. So it's definitely beatable, but it's also definitely going to be the next Pokemon that's going to be banned. Sure, there's a lot of ways on stopping it. Toxapex, Alolan Marowak is also a really good way on stopping it as well. There's a lot of ways, honestly, you can stop it. But the fact that you can only think of such little ways to stop it, and the fact that this Pokemon has setup, Beast Boost setup as well, and it's so powerful. Sure, it's a glass cannon, but it's so powerful and such a strong wall breaker. You know, think of it. When Lando Tran, that little defensive rocker offensive core used to happen in Oris, it bodies that core with Ice Beam and High Jump Kick. So a lot of people within the meta right now are definitely thinking this Pokemon's gonna be banned. Doubles wise, I haven't seen much usage of it personally myself. I'm still getting into doubles aggressively, so I haven't seen much of it in my experience of doubles. If anybody plays doubles, I would love your thoughts. I would really love your thoughts on what you think of this mon and its viability in doubles, because it must be viable. It's just strong. But it's also really frail, so the fact that it won't live long, it's definitely something. But it's a really strong revenge killer, really strong sweeper as well. It just doesn't live long, you know, it doesn't live long, but the fact that it can literally make you go from 6 to 6 to 6 to 3 and then the rest of your team can clean up the rest is outstanding. It's outstanding. But that's gonna be it though for this video, guys. You let me know your personal top 5 on who you think is the strongest mons from all these new Pokemon that have been introduced from Sun and Moon. These are just my thoughts, so please don't get angry. If you disagree, by all means, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. A lot of honorable mentions. Kartana, definitely an honorable mention right there. Lola Marowak is also an honorable mention. He's really good. And also as well, Xurkitree. Xurkitree's move pool is very limited, but the fact that he can also sweep when set up properly is really strong as well. Ash Greninja, I think he speaks for himself. Ash Greninja. Tapu Koko, definitely Tapu Koko. Tapu Fini as well. Tapu Fini's really good utility mon right there. And that's really kind of it. Like, if there's any honorable mentions I didn't do that's probably triggering you, I apologize, but that's really kind of it. I mean, the Lolomuck is pretty good too, but that's pretty much it. So guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Definitely subscribe. Oh, and Araquanid. What am I talking about? Araquanid is crazy fucking good. But if you enjoyed, make sure to give the video a thumbs up. That showed me you enjoyed. Subscribe if you already haven't. And with that, I will catch you all later. Goodbye.